I'm John Bessant, and I'm Professor of Innovation and Entrepreneurship at the University of Exeter. What actually does innovation mean, and how can we work with it? And that's what I work on. My field is innovation management, and perhaps I could just share a few thoughts around that with you. Ideas are a great starting point, but on their own, they're not going to create value. So what we need is to understand the process, the journey from moving those ideas to something that creates value. So the first thing is very much about having a clear strategy. So being very clear what it is we're trying to do, what's the value we're trying to create, what's the basis of our innovative idea. Now that might change, but as long as we keep challenging and making sure we're very clear about what we're trying to do, we're going to at least have the beginnings of the roadmap to get there. One of the key lessons we've learned in innovation, particularly in recent years, is the value of what's called the pivot. So you try something out, and very likely it won't work. Maybe the technology doesn't work. Maybe that market that you thought was there isn't there. That's okay. Learn from that and pivot the idea. Don't throw the idea away, but pivot it on its axis towards something that's closer to what will work. So if you want to innovate, it's very much a matter of prototyping, trying things out, probing and learning. Not in a random way, but all the time trying to pivot, trying to focus in on what it is that will really create value for the people you're trying to create it for. The second thing is about networks. I sometimes think it's about what I call knowledge spaghetti. It's technical knowledge and market knowledge, legal knowledge, financial knowledge, all sorts of strands of knowledge held by different people. And our job is to weave those strands together to create value, innovation. And it's one of the big advantages for a small organization, because you don't have to own or know everything as long as you know how to network and make the connections. So connected organizations can be small, but they can also be very effective innovators. But that brings me to the third lesson that we've learned, which is don't be afraid to fail. What we do sometimes is called failing forward. So, sounds a simple recipe: strategy, networks, and not being afraid to fail through a managed process of prototyping and learning. Sounds easy enough. The trick, of course, is stepping back and learning and constantly building your own skills in doing it. So I wish you the very best of luck with this course, and I'm sure you've started out on a very valuable journey.